Hi, I'm Nicola McKenzie, founder at Dunham McCarthy Mortgage Services, and in today's video I'll be explaining to you what energy performance certificates are and why you might need one if you're buying, selling or renting a property. Now guys, before we get into the detail of today's video, it's worth me pointing out that here at Dunham McCarthy, we are a team of property and mortgage specialists, and we also specialise on the house buying process in general. Now we deal with lots of mortgage lenders, from high street names to specialist lenders, and we can help you to find the best mortgage options to suit your circumstances, as well as give you our detailed knowledge and expertise to help you through the house buying or remortgaging process. So if that sounds like you and you're looking to buy or remortgage, then head over to our website, dm.mortgage, and book in for a free of charge appointment today. So first of all, let's look at what an energy performance certificate is. Now, an energy performance certificate is also commonly referred to as an EPC. So if you hear me saying EPC, I'm saying energy performance certificate. And it's basically a 4-page document that sets out the energy efficiency of a property. And it does that by using a traffic light system of A to G. A means that the property is as energy efficient as it can get. That's the highest on the scale. G, the least energy efficient. Now, EPC certificates were introduced in England and Wales in 2007. And when you arrange and get a valid EPC certificate, it's valid from 10 years from the date of issue. And generally what it does is it indicates how much a property will cost to heat and power. So it's a really useful tool if you're buying a property to find out and to know how energy efficient that particular property might be. Now, being a bit more specific on what an EPC contains, it will give you information about a property's energy use, typical energy costs, and it will also give you recommendations about how to reduce energy at a property and potential cost savings of implementing changes that will make the property more energy efficient. So for example, it might highlight that installing solar panels could improve things, double glazing, insulation to the roof, to the floor, etc. And in turn, obviously that might lower your heating bill. Now they are really important because if you don't get an energy performance certificate when you should have one, then you can risk getting a fine. So it's really important to know when you need one and when you don't. Now guys, it's worth noting that you can look at the energy performance of other properties free of charge. The government has an online database and it will give you information on every EPC that's registered in the UK. And this will allow you to compare that home's energy performance with other similar homes. And you can find that out just by literally putting in the property address. Typically speaking, new build homes have got a higher EPC rating, while older homes typically will have lower ratings of probably around a D or an E, but generally speaking, the average EPC rating of a home in the UK is a D. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, finding out the EPC rating is really useful because it gives you an idea on what your energy bills are likely to be. You know, and if you're buying a really big house and you're going to be slapped with quite an expensive heating bill, I think it's worth just, knowing that initially when you're looking at purchasing the property. And as well, it can also serve as a useful tool in your property negotiations. Obviously, if a home's got a really, really low EPC rating, that's going to mean that potentially you need to make a lot of changes to the property in order to make it more energy efficient. So use that information to your advantage if and when you need to. Now, it's also worth mentioning as well that some mortgage lenders give lower interest rates for properties with the highest grading. So a lot of mortgage lenders, again, are trying to do what they can to encourage environmentally friendly house purchases. So therefore they're giving lower interest rates to properties that have got a higher EPC rating, usually of an A or a B, to again encourage energy efficiency. So that's also worth bearing in mind. But ultimately the mortgage rate, even if a lender says that they're given a discount for greener purchases, you still need to look at the overall market, because just because something's discounted doesn't still mean that it's necessarily the best rate. But again, we would help you to compare your mortgage options, so get in touch for that. So when might you need an energy performance certificate? Well, EPC certificates are required whenever a property is built, sold, or rented. Now, there are some exceptions depending on the type of property. So for example, listed buildings are exempt since 2013, provided that they meet certain minimum standards, and there are other exceptions as well. But you must order an EPC certificate for potential buyers and tenants before you market your property in order to sell it or in order to rent it out. Again, if you're a landlord and you're looking at renting out a property but you're coming up for a remortgage, you would also need an EPC in that scenario. Most lenders will insist that you need an EPC. Now, it's the seller's responsibility or the landlord's responsibility to arrange an EPC certificate. But if you're a buyer, it's still important that you understand the certificate and have some awareness of what the rating is, again, so that you know what you are in for when you come to own that property. And the person selling the house, the landlord or the letting agent, must show you the EPC certificate, again, if you are purchasing a property, or renting if you ask to see it. Most property listings as well on your website, they will show the EPC certificate on the property advertisement as well, so that's just worth mentioning. Now, from April 2020, if you are looking at renting a property out, so if you're a landlord, then your EPC certificate has to have a rating of E or above. That is what the law requires in order for someone to rent out a property. And as I mentioned, guys, earlier on in the video, that you can face fines if you don't have an EPC certificate in a scenario where you should have one. And as well, really key point, that if you are looking at buy-to-let properties, then there are some mortgage lenders that will not grant a mortgage if the energy performance rating is less than an E. So again, it is really important that you consider the EPC rating in that respect. Now, how much is an EPC going to cost? Now, they cost up to £120, although the price is much lower for most properties. And whilst you have to have an EPC before you can sell or let a property, I'll be honest, there's no real benefit to choosing a more expensive provider. It's the kind of thing where it is what it is. It doesn't vary in terms of quality. So, and it's worth mentioning as well that they are typically more expensive if you arrange it through an estate agent, as most things are. So you probably want to steer clear of arranging things through an estate agent and just be mindful of that. Now, where can you get one? You have to find an accredited assessor to do it. If you're selling or renting your home out and you are in England, Wales, Northern Ireland or Scotland, and they'll come around and assess the property and then produce the certificate based on the state of the property and the condition of the property. So guys, in summary, that's giving you a bit of an overview on what energy performance certificates are, when you might need one, and why they can be really useful to at least get awareness of whether you're buying, selling or renting out a property, because knowing the energy efficiency of a house, I think is really important when you're about to buy it or rent it. Now, like I said to you before, if you are at a stage where you are about to buy a property, about to sell or remortgage, then we are property and mortgage specialists. We're a team of brokers and advisors here, and we've got so much knowledge and expertise on the house buying process that we can help you to make the best moves and give you the best advice throughout your property transaction. We deal with lots of banks, from high street lenders to specialist lenders, and we can look through your options and help you to find the best solution for your circumstances. So head over to the website and book in for a free of charge appointment. It's dm.mortgage, and we'll look forward to helping you. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you haven't already, and you don't want to miss any more property, finance or mortgage related videos. And I'll catch up with you in my next one.